free. Okay, just pray. Let's do it. Patel, you ready?
Yes, all good, Don.
All good.
All
Now
good.
can we
Let's do
start?
it.
Okay, that's good. I think the video needs to be adjusted a little bit, but that's all right. We can see. Now we're gonna talk about WHS legislations, Work Health and Safety 2011, New South Wales. This is actually the foundation of work health and safety in New South Wales, and obviously was revised in 2017. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the laws abiding safety in the workplace in New South Wales. Now, with this, we're going to talk about legislations is the highest level of documentations in relation to WHS and is the foundation from which other documentation is created. Legislation is made in Parliament by members of the government and has implications that are legally binding in relation to all members of the public. Below, we will take a look at the existing health and safety legislation that has been developed by the New South Wales state government. Obviously, as you can see here, I've retrieved this from the New South Wales government site. So if you click on that, it will take you straight to the New South Wales website for you to have a thorough view of the legislations of New South Wales in terms of work health and safety. The main legislation related to work health and safety is the Work Health and Safety Act 2011, which I previously told you that it is the foundation of Work Health and Safety Act, which was pioneered in 2011 and obviously been revised later on. I'll tell you. So the act is the foundational document from which all other WHS material is created. With its creation, the Workplace Health and Safety Act 2011, New South Wales, establishing the following areas as law. Now, I want to focus much more on these key areas. A PBCU is a person's conducting business undertaking, and persons conducting business undertaking is the one in charge for all sort of safetiness and work-related hazards and injuries, risk management, that is they do the risk assessment and all that, identification of hazards, and we will come to that. So here, a PBC's duty of care requirements to their workers as well as the consequences and penalties related to compliance. Obviously, this is telling us about the consequences if you go against the law of work health and safety in New South Wales. There will be consequences, severe consequences. So each and every worker needs to adhere to the work health and safety legislations. Right, so in here, the duty of officers, that is the workers, it could be the supervisors, team leaders, managers, and other individuals in the workplace in relation to work health and safety. Consultation will be coming from other external bodies or internal bodies where there will be discussions and representations and participations, requirements in the workplace. So consultations will be where they will have to consult to seek for broader understanding and broader modern procedures of legislations in all workplaces. WHS committee. Now, the committee here is the election of health and safety representatives. These are the representatives in each work and health safety companies or workplace in general. So these are the committees set up to represent these people are actually given the special powers for them to operate and make sure that the law of work and health safety is abide in all aspects of areas. So this is a very, very key aspect that I need to really cover here. Now, incident notifications. Incident notifications could be, like as we talked about before, incident reporting. You remember Patel and Jasprit? We talked about the incident reporting and the incident investigation, you remember?
Yes.
So here, incident notification comes in, which is very key, like I said to you before, an incident and how to report it, which we did talk about in the last previous presentation. So here, you can see these are the 2021 that was actually pioneered. I've told you, I've put it out. This is the New South Wales website. If you click on here, you can go onto the main page to actually have a thorough look at the WHS legislations actually. Yes, so here, like I said to you, the incident notifications is also where the recommendations are also derived from, and also actual findings and summary to what we talked about. So this is another key area which we need to actually cover. So we now go to Work Health and Safety Regulation. So here was the Work Health and Safety Act. The act is the law that came in. Now the regulation here is the revised version from the original 2011 Work and Health and Safety Act, which was being developed. So in here, we're going to talk about regulations. Regulations are what? Regulations are laws that has been formed already, but how to regulate it, how to put more effort or more energy to it. So that's the regulations. Regulations are made based on specific act and are also legally binding. Regulations provide more specific detail in relation an act, setting out general principles and procedures which can be practically incorporated into the workplace. The Work Health and Safety Regulation 2017 provides further details, right? So here, like we talked about before, it's been revised and is providing us more recommendations and details with summary reports from previous years. So here, in here we're going to have a regulation provide more specific detail in relation to the act, setting out general principles and procedures which can be practically incorporated into the workplace. The Work Health and Safety Regulation 2017, New South Wales, also provides further details related to work health and safety law in the following areas. Now, if you look at this, you see here, these were the key areas I was trying to talk to you about from 2011, and from 2017, the revised version of specific details which were incorporated from 2011. You could see representation and participation, the election of representative, that is the HSR, right? So these are the representations. We need to have people representing work health and safety in our workplace. We need to have a representation who will see to all sort of hazards, risk assessment, risk management, and also control measures that will be put in the workplace. So we need representations in all workplaces. Issue resolutions, that is procedures and minimum requirement. Procedures and minimum requirements is talking about processes that has been revised from 2011, and then the requirements such as PPEs, wearing personal protective equipment, training people on machineries, training people on using, for example, like forklift drivers. Before they used to have people driving without tickets, but now you need to have a ticket before you could operate the forklift, because the forklift could create a fatal or a very, very serious injury in the workplace, right? So we need requirements and procedures. Now, risk management processes in the workplace. That's where we talked about risk assessment. So when there's a risk, we need to assess the risk. We need to also have a procedure or a technique, which is the hazard identification, how to identify a hazard. For instance, there's a little spill there. What are the processes to be done? You need to secure the area, put a signal note that there's a wet floor, that kind of stuff. Right, so these are the processes, and also having control measures, having control processes, control measures in handling risk management. So these are the risk management process, and here you could see risk management procedures in the workplace. We could have the control measures, we could have the hazard identifications, and also the risk assessment. So this is very, very key. There should be first aid, there should be emergency point, there should be signals, and also first aid in the workplace. There should be emergency exit in case of fire outbreak or any kind of collusion. There should be processes in those ones as well. And also practices for working in hazardous environment. That could be working in a chemical environment, which for example, a person could spill up a chemical which they don't know the safety data sheet, so they don't know the kind of seriousness or post illnesses that they could have. So for instance, if there's a spill, what are the procedures, the requirements involved in also dealing in such issues? So the hazardous environment, and also where to keep and store hazardous equipment or things that we daily use. For instance, a gas bottle. You can't keep a gas bottle openly in a workplace. They need to be secured in one specific area, and chemicals too has to be designated in a specific area where it's stored without causing harm to any persons in the workplace. So we've talked about that. And then duties and practices of the PCBUs. Like I said earlier, the PCBUs are the persons conducting business undertakings. So they represent the HSCEs in the workplace to ensure that workers follow proper processes, workers are educated, workers are trained, workers are well informed, and also there are some sort of toolboxes that not just PCBUs but other employees could also come out with suggestions that could be discussed and in the toolbox, so everyone could have an understanding and importance of WHS legislation. So this is another key area that we're going to be talking about. It's very, very vital. We need to and also the duties too. So from here, the duties are maybe, let's say, workers, team leaders, and supervisors. These are also people in the workplace who also watch out for others and also seeking out to identify hazards. So everybody has a duty to play. That is why it's been named duties. Everybody has a duty to play in the workplace. We need to watch out for each other. We need to also identify and look out for hazard if possible in the workplace. So this is a very, very, very important part. It's not just the PCBUs, even though they are the representatives and they carry out very serious power, that they could use the power to ensure that there's a safe working environment for each and every employee. So this WHS legislation is a very, very important key that every employee needs to abide with and also adhere to. So this is just a quick presentation to talk about WHS legislations, when it was being pioneered and when it was being revived. What are the what are the processes and the regulations that they've put across that could help each and every employee in the workplace. So to bring this to a conclusion, it's been talked about when it's been pioneered, when it's been regulated in 2017, the responsibilities of PCBUs, and power is given to PCBUs to ensure that proper safe work environment is secured. To bring this to a conclusion, thank you very much for your time, and I would like to ask you I would like to find out if you've got some questions for me, Patel and Jasprit.
How does the WHS works, like in practice?
Yes, in practice, like I talked about earlier in the second slide, they have now PCBUs, and PCBUs are persons conducting the business undertaking. So they are a representative that ensures that there's a healthy, safe working environment for each an employee. Yeah. So this is to talk about how important the WHS legislation is in New South Wales. Any more questions?
I think I'm good. I'm good from my
good
side.
On that? So
yes.
Have you understood everything that
Yes.
I've talked about?
Yes.
The key points of legislations, law abiding, procedures, risk management, and importance of PCBUs and duty holders. I hope you do get the presentation quite well. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to me.
No worries.
I do appreciate your time.
Oh.
Now I'll pass you the feedback form
Yeah.
on your own time.
Yeah.
Just assess me, and then you and Patel, you can send it back to me
No
for
worries.
the assessment. Thank you very much.